How can you develop a healthy relationship with your emotions? How are emotions useful, and how can you recognize when you are repressing them or getting too much into your own head? Hello! Today I want to talk to you about emotions because I've been feeling a lot of them this year. It's been a bit hard, to be honest. I've had a lot of anxiety and emotional bursts. So I've been learning a lot as well from my own experience, from my therapist, and from the research I did. So now I want to share this learning with you and hope that maybe it could help someone out there. I'm going to do multiple videos on this subject because, well, it is a large subject. So this video is going to be an introduction about what are emotions. And I'm going to talk about two toxic patterns that we tend to have toward our emotions, why we may have this toxic pattern, and how we can change it to develop a healthier relationship with our emotions. So, with all that being said, let's get started. We all know that we live in this human body and we navigate through the world using our senses. Emotions are created from your brain in response to a signal perceived through your five senses, perceived through all the information that you can get from your outer world. And sometimes also it can be coming from your thoughts, if you're thinking of memory, for example. Let's take the image of an input-output system. The input would be everything in your outer world that you are perceiving, all the information that your brain is getting from the outer world. So the input gets into your body, your system, it gets into your brain, it gets analyzed by your brain, and then the output is the emotion. So really, emotions are just a result of what you are perceiving in your outer world and how your brain is analyzing it. And it is a way for your brain to communicate to you, sending a message in your body, the emotion that you can feel and become aware of, so that maybe you can act upon it. And for example, take the right decision for you, or tell someone your limits, or realize that you have a really big trauma there that needs to be working on. Emotions are essential information, but always remember that your emotions do not define who you are. You are the one that is feeling the emotion. You are not the emotion. The emotion is temporary and it will pass, as everything in this world, really. And when you start to become aware of that, and when you start to take the seat of the observer, of the one that is witnessing the emotion, looking at it from above, then you can start to have a healthy distance with the emotion, meaning that you see the emotion, you feel it and you accept it, but you do not define yourself as this emotion. You still know who you are, and your emotion and yourself are separate things. The emotion is within you, you can feel it, but it is not who you are. So when you are doing that, when you are observing the emotion and you know that the emotion is not who you are, then you can feel the emotion and have compassion for yourself, for this emotion, and accepting it, but without letting the emotion take control over you. So when you are able to do that, it's called emotional agility. And it means that you are able to accept and understand your feelings with a healthy distance. And you have this information in mind of you know the information that the emotion is giving to you. You have it in mind and you decide what actions you're going to take that are aligned with who you are. So you don't let the emotion take directives for you and control your reaction. You are the one that is controlling how you are acting, and you take the responsibility of your acts. So now we're going to talk about the two different toxic patterns that we tend to have towards our emotion. Let's imagine that the emotion is just like a wave, meaning that it comes and it rises. This is where it is at its climax, and then it passes. Like everything in life, it just passes. These too shall pass. So when you are having a healthy relationship with your emotion, you start feeling the emotion rising, but you let it happen. You don't judge it, you don't try to repress it, you let it come, you feel it, you accept it, it rises, and then it just passes through you. Now, a lot of people, including me, well, we tend to have two different toxic patterns toward our emotions. The first one is repressing the emotion. So when the wave is coming and you start to feel the emotion coming, well, you are scared of it and you don't want to be feeling it. So before it is rising, just as it is coming, you push it away. You don't want to feel it, so you push it aside and you store it somewhere. Well, the thing is, in that moment, you feel like you're not feeling the emotion anymore. You just push it aside and it's gone, but it's not actually gone. It is being stored in your body. And well, it's gonna come out because internal pain always comes out. And if you're doing this a lot of times, it's going to be accumulating in your body, and at one point, it's going to explode. And that's when emotional bursts happen. And it's really heavy, it's really strong, and it can be a very, very intense experience. I've had a lot of them, and I didn't understand why until my therapist explained to me this emotional wave, and that if I have been repressing the emotion, it's been accumulating, and so when it's coming out, it's even stronger. I think that we repress emotions a lot because we are scared of it. We are scared of feeling the emotion. We don't know how to deal with it, and we are scared of the strength it can have on us. And most of all, we are scared of the pain. So we push it aside because we're scared of the pain, but actually pushing it aside and the emotion being accumulated, when it comes out, the pain is even stronger. So it's really better to feel the pain at the moment and let it pass through you instead of accumulating it. And pain shouldn't be seen as a problem because pain is just part of the human experience and we just have to accept it, because as long as we live, we are always going to feel pain. Just like joy and happiness and sadness, it's just part of it all. You cannot live in this human body without ever feeling pain at all. It's just part of the experience and we just have to accept it. So, now the second toxic pattern. So, this one is when we get too much into our heads. So, what happens is the wave is coming, it's rising, and when it attains its climax, instead of letting it just pass, we are keeping the wave at its climax and we start an obsessive ego talk. And that's when we get too much into our heads and we are replaying the scene over and over again about what happened, what the other person said, what we said, and replaying it over and over again in our heads. So what this does is it is reinforcing the emotion and getting you really attached to what you're feeling and to everything that happened. And so basically you're not letting the emotional wave just pass through you. You are keeping the wave at its climax and it cannot just pass. So by doing that, we are making ourselves suffer so much more. And we don't even realize that. Obviously, we don't do that on purpose. And I guess most of the time when we do that, we don't even realize that we are stuck into our mind and having this obsessive ego talk. We don't realize it because our whole attention is focused on that. So what is helping me a lot is to practice mindfulness and being more present and meditating. And you can do that at any time in the day, during any activities, just becoming more present and fully aware of what you're doing and everything that is surrounding you and how you're feeling inside. And taking the seat of the observer, of the one that is witnessing everything around you and within you. When you practice being more mindful and present, you might realize when the ego starts an obsessive talk, and you might be able to take a step back and observe your thought process, observe the ego talking in your head, and observing without getting into it, observing without participating in it, and without giving your mind your full attention. Stepping into the seat of the observer, of the seat of awareness. You are more than your thoughts and your emotions and everything. You are the one that is witnessing everything. You are so powerful. When you become conscious of that, it is so powerful and it can change a lot of things. Because as you become conscious of this ego talk, naturally it's going to diminish it. And so maybe it's going to change this pattern. So maybe you could try with just 5 minutes of meditation every day and work from that. Or just using mindfulness in your everyday activities, like when you're washing your hands, becoming fully aware of all your senses, like the feeling of hot water on your hands, the sound of water running, the smell of the soap. Becoming fully aware of your senses in any situation will help you to become very more present in the moment, and so becoming more observing and witnessing of everything outside and within you.
So I hope you like this video, I hope you gained value from this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and please tell me in the comments if it helped you in some way. So yeah, I'll see you next time, bye!